Our destination?
New fitness routines.
Let's go for a ride.
Welcome to Girls Trip, where today we are sharing 3 different fitness routines that we all tried so that you don't have to. Or
maybe you will have to.
And it's going to be the best thing ever.
Maybe you'll be so inspired. Hopefully you guys are a little more inspiring than I'm going to be. If
No pressure.
I'm
No pressure.
showing my cards.
Fine.
But yeah, I mean, it's the beginning of a new year. I feel like that's always at the top of everyone's to-do list is to set some sort of new fitness goal, maybe push yourself a little bit further.
Do you think it's number 1 on new year, new me?
I think it's like,
resolutions?
a gym membership is like it.
I think
Really?
so.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty high.
For like a month. And then it's like,
Is it health in general, or is it like lose weight? Like, what is the or be more?
Yeah,
get
that
more
I don't know.
Be more active. Like,
Well, I mean, that's right there is probably a whole nother rabbit hole.
totally,
Is like,
totally.
Health is probably not as big of a priority as it should be because
Sure.
it's more about like weight loss or something that could go in an unhealthy direction.
Sure.
Not that weight loss is bad, but it's not always done in like
In
a
well,
healthy
that's
way.
kind of-
That was
Kind
kind
of
of where
way.
I landed, because I feel like mine that I'm going to talk about is good, but would be better if I had a different personality. So maybe not so good for me
For
specifically.
you,
Which I
Exactly.
think is an important thing to find out. So should we like build up? Should we start from like low,
Yeah.
And
medium,
and then go up.
you
Yeah, I
can't
like
put
that.
yourself on the low, but I get what you're getting at. But yes.
I know. Well, you know those like pop-up stores where they have where instead of jean sizes, they like assign like, this size is fabulous. This size is
Like rock
gorgeous.
star.
Yes. We need that
I'm
for
a size
this.
gorgeous.
So I can assign myself something better than
We're going to think of
low.
something.
Yeah. So my initial fitness routine that I was going to attempt was really not that much of a routine at all. And if you watched yesterday's episode, you will know that I said I am like allergic to the word routine. I don't do well with things that I have to do every day, which always really surprises people because I'm such a type A personality and I feel like that is a type A thing.
Totally.
But I don't know. I just in coming into like adulthood, I didn't have like consistent days. Like I tend to be
lot of
working for myself
variety.
or working multiple jobs, and so every
Yeah.
single day was very different. So I was
Consistency is everything
Yeah.
when it comes to this.
So
right?
when you don't
Yeah.
have that, when you're waking up
It's
at different
tough.
times, going to bed at different times, like every day looks different. It's hard to establish a routine that you can really like commit to and
Stay
follow
with,
through.
Totally.
So I thought that I had set the bar low enough that I could actually do something, especially knowing that like, okay, Lauren, you're never going to be more accountable than having to go on camera and talk about
this.
So my goal was to stretch every day and walk a mile 3 times a week.
Okay.
That was it.
That was
And
really
that's
good.
going from sub-zero, like doing
That is
literally nothing to doing that. I think that in the past I have pushed myself too hard in starting. So I've gone from like 0 to 60 and then I'm like, okay, well, I'm a day in and I literally can't sit on the toilet without being in pain. Like,
That's not good. That's not
We've
going to work.
all been
We've
there.
all been there at one
Yep.
point.
and that's not
Past
sustainable
week,
because then you give up.
Totally.
Because then, you're like, my body can't do this.
Totally.
So, but then I feel like I get down on myself for easing myself in because then I feel like, well, that was the dumbest workout. Like, what did that do to benefit me? Like,
Right.
that was
Right.
nothing. So I try to skip those like
Yep.
entry level
moments.
things, which is not good for me.
Not always the greatest.
Yeah. The only successful time that I did something was I followed videos. Like you did a calendar for the month. And that was the only, and I did it for like 4 months, I want to say. Like,
Wow.
That's
6
great.
days a week.
Yeah.
Post or pre-kids?
Pre-kids.
Okay.
And I felt good, but it was a really good mix of like, there were some days where I was just like, I don't feel like I like pushed myself. I don't feel like, whoa, that was like an intense workout, but it was a good balance. Like there were days where I was like,
Yeah, where you
"Ooh,
felt it, and then
ooh,
other
I
days,
felt
yes,
it, so
totally.
I was
Yeah.
able to keep doing it.
That's what helps you actually to keep going.
right.
You're not like miserable the whole time.
Totally.
Yeah. So I know that exists, but
It exists somewhere.
yeah, that exists. So
Gotta find that again.
that was the plan. I had every intention of following through on that. And then, life happened.
Right.
So I'm 3 weeks deep into a sinus infection right now that has me pretty much hitting a wall every day at like 3 p.m.
It's brutal.
Where I'm
It's
just
brutal.
like,
yeah.
I'm like, I like lay down, take medicine, lay down for 20 minutes after I get home from picking my daughter up from school so that I have enough energy to like get up, make dinner, do
Your
homework.
brain's not saying,
You're-
let's
yeah.
go for a
Work
jog.
out.
Yeah. So my body's not
No,
there.
no.
I was hurtling towards a really big event that I had to plan and execute.
Yeah.
And then my daughter got sick in the middle of this. So all of these things, and I want to say it was just the wrong week or month, but that's not true. Like
Right.
That's
this
all
is
the
just
time.
a microcosm of what my life is.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm always planning something. My body is inevitably breaking down.
Totally.
And I now have a kid in school who gets sick all the time. So my normal reaction, which is why I've been stuck in this rut for years now, my daughter's 5, so 5 years, is I just kind of say like all or nothing.
Yep.
Like, well, because I can't achieve what my goal was, I might as well not do
do it.
anything because doing a little bit is not going to, make my body look any different. It's not going to give me any
Make the
kind of
change
like
necessarily.
result. And for basically my whole life, that's the only like thing that I found motivating enough
Sure.
is like, okay, is there a result here? However, because I knew that this was going to something, I was like, so I adjusted my goal and I was like, okay, forget what I was originally doing. I was like, my only goal is to move my body
Yeah.
every
In
day
any way.
in
Yeah.
any way. And some days that looked like waking up and stretching for 10 minutes. Other days that looked like I stretched for 3 2-minute clips, like at random times in the
a day.
day where I could, or various things like that. Or it was just like, okay, I am going to carry this laundry basket up and down the stairs like 3 times before I drop it off in the
Perfect.
laundry room, or like something like that. Or like, okay, I'm going to park further than I need to and walk to pick up my daughter, from school. So that, I know that sounds like really pathetic.
Those are all the
Those are all the
that's where you
things.
start. Those are all.
Yes.
This is where
But
you
this
start.
is my
All the
life
things,
right
yes.
now, and I was like trying to, if I can just like adjust my mindset a little bit to just be like, because if I always say like forget it, I'm
Yeah.
not going to start now, then when I do, maybe when I am at a place where, God willing, one day I can do something a little bit more intense, like my body's going to hurt because
Yeah.
it hasn't done anything. It
At
hasn't
that point,
stretched.
yeah,
It
it's gonna
hasn't
be even
used its
harder.
muscles. So
Totally. You don't want to go from nothing to
Right.
something when you're ready to do that.
Exactly.
You want to have a
Easy.
So I'm like,
higher level.
I
that
just
you're
want to
starting
be
at.
able to keep my body like be able to move, to keep
Yeah.
like stretching it a little bit, to keep moving it. And I had Rebecca
Yes.
in my head because even in this like much smaller example, for when I had initially started stretching, because we've talked about this a couple times, like later in the day, I was like, oh my God, like my hamstrings are
Yeah.
shaking right now.
just from the stretch.
Just from the
from the
stretching.
stretch.
Yeah.
Because I would literally wake up, and the moment I got out of bed, I'm like stretching my body
Yeah.
to its like as much as
Not
it
the
can
best
handle.
thing to do.
So I had Rebecca in my head of like gentle movement.
Yes.
in my head.
Do a couple like little
and
walks
like
up and down the
building on that
stairs.
of like if I can do it
Yes.
for a couple minutes in the morning, just like wake my body up, and then like later in the day stretch it a little
Then
bit
go
more.
a little bit more. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not gonna be down on myself and say that I failed. I'm just gonna say that I didn't do nothing and give up, and I kept like a much more positive mindset than I would have in the past.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where you are, and you just need a better mindset. Maybe that's your fitness goal is to just say,
reset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something rather than nothing.
Nothing.
And I'm
Yeah.
honestly trying to apply that to my whole life. Like, okay, it's better to spend 5 minutes stretching than do nothing, and it's better to fold 3 shirts out of that laundry basket than nothing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's where I've gone.
Wow, good
Yeah.
job. Good
Yeah,
job
good
there.
job.
Yay. Applause.
Snaps
Snap,
all
snaps.
around.
On to
Level 2.
Level 2.
I have 2 examples that I want to go through. So 2 new fitness things that I've recently taken up. One is worse than the other. So I'll start with the bad one first. Okay. So it was actually a good experience. I did a fitness type of competition where it was basically a lot of weightlifting involved. I was counting my macros and it was for 4 weeks straight. Okay. So, I mean, we're all ladies here, I think. We're all ladies here. And honestly, my worst part about this was like a constant weigh-in every week. For me, when I'm on my period, I'm gaining 5 to 10 pounds every month and losing it every month. That is my life.
Wow.
5 to 10
That's a lot,
every month
yeah.
and losing it. And then as soon
Water
as I lose
weight,
it,
like everything.
as soon as I lose it all, it immediately starts rising right back. So that's tough
That's
to
tough.
be in a normal fluctuation like that, but it's just the way I live my life. And to be in a competition and have to like do weigh-ins and then photos, and it's like I felt great that last week. I'm doing the exact same thing I was doing last week.
And I feel
Why do I
terrible
feel
this
10 times
week?
worse?
Yeah.
Like for me, as great of an idea as that is, as a woman, it's really tough. As a woman who deals with a lot of hormonal stuff, it's really tough to stick to something like that, because now I'm at the point where I was 4 weeks in. I was like, well, I guess I'm not eating for the last 2 days because now I have to make up for almost
Which is not
for getting my
good
period in
either.
5 days. So it's like all this mental gymnastics that you try to do to
Yep.
try and make it make sense and be at like peak. So, and I'm also very competitive too. So
No kidding.
I know it's a
No
shocker, but
way.
I am actually very competitive. So because of that, when it comes to fitness and competition and like judging myself every day or critiquing myself every day, not great. Not great. Although it was fun. The other thing that I've been doing that I really, really like, similar to Lauren with just moving. So I love my watch, my smartwatch. It's called a Withings watch. So it's not an Apple Watch, but it is a smartwatch, and it tracks all my steps, all my workouts, and everything like that. So
And it's so cute.
It does. It
it's
looks
very
like a
pretty.
nice,
It doesn't look like a
tasteful
computer. It
Yeah.
looks like a
watch.
normal watch, which is why it doesn't look like I have a calculator on my wrist. So I really love this. And I was listening to Jillian Michaels actually one day on a podcast, and she was saying something along the lines of like, you can go so crazy into the fitness world that you lose your mind and you go
oh yeah,
insane.
100%.
She was like, just do the basics, like do the basics. And she was talking about, some food stuff and then some workout stuff. And then she was talking about and she harped on this for a while. She was talking about walking, and she was
Walking
like,
is amazing for you, yeah.
Like try to get at least 7 in. So in my head, I'm like, okay. And I've heard like the 10,000 steps a day thing. So I'm like, okay, I can do 7 to 10 a day. So I've been doing that for since I got off the last competition.
Are we talking about miles?
Yes. 1,000 steps.
7,000 miles a day,
Are we talking
guys.
miles?
Well, you didn't say 7. That you just said 7
said
to
7.
10.
Oh,
and I
I'm
was
sorry,
like,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
7 to
I
10.
got it, but yeah, you should have, yeah.
7,000 to 10,000
Yes,
steps
yes.
a day.
Okay, I've heard that.
So that has been really, really great for me, because and I do try to go to the gym almost every morning, more like 3 to 5 days a week, not counting weekends. But if nothing else, I'm like, but I moved, because I have proof of it and I can look at it and I know that my body is going. And sometimes, like, even if that's the minimum, that's really good comparatively to like what if I could check my iPhone from like 2 years ago when I started working from home. I'm not kidding. I like 350 steps a day
That's crazy.
starting working from home.
Yeah,
And
that's
then I'm
hard. That's the
wondering why
hardest
6
thing.
months later I'm like,
You're like, oh,
why do
my
I
body.
feel like I can't move? Like, because I wasn't moving.
Because you were just sitting,
So
yeah.
now when it's just intentional and when there's something you can look at, and also for me, it's like I like having the thing that I can check off the
So
list.
what do you, let's say you're looking and you're like, I've been a little low this week or something like that. But you still work from home most days.
Yeah.
What are you like? How do you be intentional? Like, do you like, I'm going to go outside and go for a walk?
Well, like for right now, like it's so cold out, like I can't just do
Right.
that, right? So a big hack that I have recently gotten into. I got a not elevated desk, but like the ones that you can like stand
standing desk.
standing desk, and I have my walking pad underneath it. So when I'm not doing, so I do a lot of things that require me to be like still. But then there's like a lot of email reading and responding to people, and that could take up like an hour of my day if I just do like email reads and responses. So in an hour, I'm walking 6,000 steps. In 1 hour.
Wow.
So which is great.
Yeah.
So I'll be walking, and this is funny too though, because my watch doesn't pick up when I'm working like this, because I have to be
your arms
moving
have
my
to
arms.
move. Yes.
So I put it on my ankle.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun.
So I put it on my ankle, and it picks up the steps that way.
That is
so.
hilarious.
And then I just need to do it for an hour, and I probably already logged in 2,000 at the gym, because I start on the treadmill for 15 minutes, and then I go do my workout, and then I go home. And instead of just plopping myself on the couch while I'm still in my workout clothes, I'll answer all my emails first thing. While I'm still have my sneakers on, before I get comfy with my coffee or whatever, I'll do that first and get out of the way. And then by like 10 a.m., I'm already done walking for the day. So that's kind of how I've mastered the last 2 to 2.5 weeks. And at least for the winter, especially, that's how I need to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm not getting outside.
You're not going out. Yeah, it's cold. You don't want to leave your house.
Yeah. I feel like I don't know. I'm so hesitant because I have no idea. I've never owned a smartwatch of any type. I think I would even be bad at wearing it.
Or like the Fitbits.
The Fitbit.
I have a
Yeah, like
Fitbit.
I've never done anything
Fitbit.
like
I have
that.
a Fitbit.
So I don't even have. I couldn't even guess my ballpark of how many steps that I'm taking in a day.
It does say it on your phone if you carry your phone with you a lot, but you give your kids your phone a lot too.
Yeah,
when
my
you're
kids
not-
take
so
my
that might
phone a
not- that might not
lot,
work.
so
Be
that
a little
doesn't
bit
always
off.
work. But like, I don't know. Part of me feels like, so back when before smartphones were a thing, and I just had like a regular phone, right? But then it was like they were doing away with regular phones, and it was like, okay, you have to get like an iPhone at this point. I remember being like, why would anyone need the internet on their phone? That is so
100%
dumb.
thought that
Like
too.
I'm never going to.
Why the
to
heck would I
need
do
this?
that?
Like this is so unnecessary. And now
it's your
obviously
life.
like
Yeah.
we've been consumed by it. So part of me feels like I don't want another thing to be
That makes
consumed
sense.
by.
Yeah.
Another
I
like
get that.
app to be checking, another, whatever. Because I feel like I already spend too much
It won't
time
benefit you
looking
too.
at
It'll just
that.
like drain you and make you more like
Yeah, but I do
annoyed
see
and
the benefit because I think that I could be motivated by having that like very specific numerical goal that you can see rising
Okay.
as you do that. I think that could help.
in the opposite way, where because listen, when I get my period, I mean it's bad when I get my period for that first 2 days, I am done. So when I'm working at my couch and I look at my watch at 6 p.m. and I see 76 steps literally, because the only thing I've done is go from the couch to the fridge back to the couch all day, that it doesn't even make me mad because I know how well I've done the rest of the month. So in my head it's like, okay, I can do 2 days of this, because as soon as I'm
Give
over it,
yourself
I'm gonna go back. So the mindset, going back to mindset is really important. Like I don't want to just gloss over that. That's really, really important. If your mindset is good, then I'm not going to be controlled by this or depressed by this. It's going to motivate me when it needs to motivate me and give me just like a gauge of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
I have found it very beneficial for sure.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, I feel
Were
like I
you
have so
just
much
doing,
pressure now.
like, you know,
Change my life.
I don't know. Did you join like Cirque du Soleil or something as your level 3?
So hopefully this isn't disappointing. And I won't say too much because I know we'll talk about this later on at some point. But what I did, and I found this really helpful, is I need variety. That's one of the reasons why I love Pilates so much, is there's so many avenues and so many pieces of equipment that you can work with. Don't want to hit the mic. So what I decided, and I found that this worked really great for my body, was some weight training, but it was at home. It was not at a gym. Because I found that was also just a problem for me getting to and from the gym at the right time. So they were 20 to 30 minute videos, 28 days in a row. And it was someone that I found that I thought was like good on YouTube and wasn't just like, do this. And I was like, that's not good. So at least all of her work and exercises I thought were great. and she did 14 days and then it just like repeated.
Okay.
So the best thing that I found was it worked your entire body too. So it wasn't just like, we're doing 5 days in a row of legs, 4 days. It was every single day was like, sure, maybe upper body, but it was like your biceps and then your back and then maybe a little bit of triceps. So it was a really nice amount of variety, and it got my whole body. So I really liked that. And again, I just loved, for some reason, not having to go to the gym. Like I'm in this time where I'm like, I don't want to, if I'm driving a lot to and from my job. So when I come home, I don't want to go out again. So that was one of the biggest things that I found. Finally, I was like, I'm canceling my gym membership because I just don't want to go right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just losing my money. So being home, and I bought a couple kettlebells and free weights, and that worked. I had my mat, and it was like 20 to 30 minutes there, stretching before, a little bit after. And I think I did notice an improvement by the end of it. Was I like, oh my gosh, like I saw a huge transformation? No, but I know that there's so many other elements, like you're saying, depends on what time you are in the month, what you're eating, how busy you are. But I really, really enjoyed the variety, and that's what I think I need mostly. And I was also just tired of coaching myself. So they're like, oh, you're a Pilates instructor, you must love like giving yourself workouts. And I'm like, yeah, it gets really boring, and only so long can I hear myself like 1 more minute or like 2 more abs, and I'm like, I'm done with that. So it was so refreshing to have some, like, I'm just watching her.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I can kind of almost go on, like, shut my brain off for a second and just follow. So it's just funny listening to you guys and hearing like, okay, I was like, it was a lot of self-motivation for you guys. And I was like, I want none of that. And I just need someone to be like, tell me what to do. Because I'm telling myself and other people what to do all day long.
Right.
And I was like,
I see that.
I can't do that anymore. And I think that's why I wanted to do something finally at home. So this was really nice. And I still occasionally go back to it and like do certain exercises or the classes, because again, each one was like 20 to 30 minutes. So it was a really nice thing that I found. So
and when you say variety, are you saying that from day to day in this, it was variety, or variety in the sense that like this is different than what you would typically do?
Both. So day to day, every I want to say episode. Yeah, every episode was different. So it'd be like upper body 1, 2, 3. The next one, lower half 1, 2, 3. She would have like every maybe 4th day a Pilates stretch. So it wasn't like go hard the whole time. It had levels. And that's why I think I really appreciated it and liked it, because it wasn't me just going hard on this goal and then you feel miserable.
Right.
Like, I went back to one of them and I did it again this week, and my hamstrings, I was like, I can't sit down. I was like, okay, I went a little too hard there. Like I should have done a lower weight.
Like a little bit of burn is good.
It's great. You need that. You want to work your muscles.
Like I'm doing something.
Yeah.
But it's when you are feeling like you can't live your life normally because of the pain. That's another level. Yeah. You've gone too far. However, as a Pilates instructor, tell me if this is true or false. I've experienced that even if I start something brand new and I'm in a lot of pain day one, if I go back the next day or at least 2 days later and work out that same muscle, I feel that the recovery is much faster for me.
Yeah, you're slowly building.
Yeah.
I mean,
versus if I like wait a week until I'm completely healed and then do it again.
Yes,
like it's gonna hurt again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're building.
Sounds like fake news.
It's like, I don't believe that.
I'm not buying what you're selling.
If you're fueling your body, you're eating, you're having your protein, you're drinking water, like all of that, it's like learning anything new. You have to go back to it soon enough. You can't like, I learned, like learning a new language. Yeah. Like you can't, I learned, how to say 10 words in this language and then wait a week and then go back. It's the exact same thing with your body. You have to condition it. You need your muscles to start to memorize how to move that way. Otherwise it's going to leave your body. So even like, that's why routines I think are super important. But if that word like throws you off, just try it in little steps. Like, okay, maybe today it's not at 9 o'clock in the morning, but maybe at 3 o'clock, I'm doing something very similar. Like just keep your body moving. And I think that's what's going to get you, further along in that.
I've come to terms with the fact that
I've come to terms.
like I'm never going to crave the burn.
I want to like sweat. I want to be
that's
like,
not
I'm
a
shaking.
thing
Yeah.
for me. Like that is so like the opposite of motivating. Like if I know that what is ahead of me is going to cause me pain and discomfort, I'm just
Absolutely
not going to do it. Like that just be like,
you
well,
want-
I'm out.
You want to do something that without knowing that you're doing it.
So basically, I'm just gonna
causing you-
blindfold
Exactly.
you,
Yes,
drive
I
you
understand.
somewhere,
So-
and be like, "Here, Lauren, we're doing it."
Well,
Oh my
that's
gosh,
why
where
I'm
we end
like,
up?
We're going for a hike
Yeah,
today. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I know that I can't expect to like have abs or like that even like I'm gonna have arm flab. Like I've had to accept that because I'm not willing to be in pain to get the reward. So I just am literally trying to find a way to be like basically healthy.
Just keep
Like,
me
baseline.
whole.
Like I want to stay alive. I want to live.
need to lift
a
my
long
children.
life and keep up with my kids. Like
Right.
that's where my fitness
Which
goals are.
sadly is actually so far ahead than other people are.
Oh.
Some people are just like literally
We're done.
just in survival mode, you know?
Well, it's
So-
taken me till now to be like, all right. And basically just because I've been friends with you guys, I'm like,
That's true.
okay.
The amount of times I've been like,
shut up.
Lauren, I found this thing. The three of us can go to this and try this. And she's like, so is food involved? And is there like shopping centers nearby? Like, I'm sorry, what?
There's only so many conversations that I can be left out of. Like, we obviously know I'm not talking about the Great British Bake Off, whatever.
She brought it up.
She brought it up.
She brought it up.
But like, okay, so I already can't be a part of those conversations. There's just so many. So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do something.
So
for
much FOMO.
fitness.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
much.
Okay, but here's my very legitimate practical question. Okay. Because I know this is gonna sound ridiculous, but one of the biggest like bars for entry for me for finding a time to fit a workout in is the sweat situation.
No, it's I hate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Mostly because of my hair.
basically my
Brutal.
schedule is I really can't get up any earlier than I'm getting up. Like,
She's like, that's just it.
I won't function. So I'm getting up, getting ready, taking my daughter to school, and then I'm out. Then I'm going for the day. I'm doing, work and errands and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm picking my daughter up from school, coming home, cooking dinner, doing homework, cleaning dinner, finishing my work, and like we said, falling into bed. So like if I'm working out at some point,
when?
I have to take a shower. Like I can't, like I
Yeah.
can't not.
2 showers
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah, like I don't have time to like get ready.
Right.
And I don't have time to like delay the start of my day
Yeah.
by that much. Whereas like I'm always mad at my husband because either he can get away with like not immediately taking a shower,
Yeah.
or if he does have to take a shower, he just like, shakes himself like a dog and doesn't have to like blow dry his hair and reapply
Yes, it's like
makeup.
you can go in and out, and you're like, wait, what am I
like,
doing
he
with my
can be
hair?
done in 15
Yeah.
minutes and ready to
Yeah.
walk out the door. Whereas like I need a whole hour to
Yeah.
blow dry my hair and get ready and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm literally like, when am I doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the energy at 11 o'clock at night.
There's a
No,
lot
that's
of,
not the best
It's
time. I
not.
think,
Yeah,
either.
that's what. Again, back to the women thing, man. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice involved.
Yeah,
it's
it's not
not
fair.
just. It's not just. Oh, I'm going to take 25 minutes to do a workout. There's so much else involved, especially
Yeah.
being a mom. Like,
Yeah.
there's so much more sacrifice that has to come from different areas.
Yeah.
So, like, maybe this is just the season for you
Mm-hmm.
of like low maintenance. Maybe it's the low intensity things that we talked about. That
Yeah, like you're not going to be sweating profusely,
Right.
but maybe you're just gonna
because there's
walk.
no room to
Right.
sacrifice from anything
Yeah.
else right now. And
Maybe
that's
you're
a
gonna
very real
just keep
thing.
your stretches,
Yeah.
keep your walking up, and that's movement, and that's good.
And you don't need to be sweating
Yeah.
buckets
Yeah.
doing those things
Doing that.
without it's still working though.
Because
It's still
also,
doing
if
something.
if you're trying to get that done and cramming it in, your body's not gonna receive all of that movement that well, and you're probably gonna be tense. You're probably gonna be like have an interruption here and there. So I think you do want to get to a place where you can like a little bit of separation. Be like, okay, I can separate what's happening at a house right now, and I can like try to focus on myself. And until you can do that, sometimes it's not going to be the best thing for your body to do that because you're just like now you feel like you're wasting time.
if you are doing a new fitness routine, or if you are starting something new and it's causing more stress in your life, it's causing your cortisol to rise, and it's doing the opposite effect of what you want to do, which is have a healthier lifestyle and have a healthier Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if it's doing the opposite effect of that, you don't want to do that. So it's what fits in my life right now.
Right.
What makes sense right now for me.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that might look very different 5 years from now, and it probably looks different than it did 5 years ago, but what makes sense right now?
Yeah. I think it's finding that balance between like pushing yourself a little, but not like overdoing it, not beating yourself up, but also not doing nothing, because it's probably never going to be the perfect time to fit that in.
Exactly.
All right. So this month, I bought Kettle popcorn and Rebecca bought Kettle bells. So wherever you fall on that spectrum, feel free to share your new fitness routines, or if you decide to try any of ours,
Let us know.
and let us know.
Keep us updated.